All right, cool. And we are live. Yes. Okay, cool. So I'm so freaking excited about tonight's training. I'm just going to jump right in because I'm one of those people that I have a lot to say and a lot of value to add. And my goal for you tonight is for you to leave here with excitement to go and create content to speak to your dream partner, business partner, and to be able to not only start attracting her in, but also having the confidence to speak directly to her. I want you, when you show up on your social media, I want you to, or him, yes, Eric, thank you, or him. Um, but I want you to like have such clarity that you get out of the mindset of speaking to everyone so that you're speaking to no one. Okay. So I want you to be so excited about helping her or him. My team is like mostly women, so it's like I'm out of practice with the him. But either way, whoever it is, it doesn't matter of the gender. It just matters the values. It matters that they need the same solution, they have the same problem, and that you're speaking to them, and that you are very, very clear with your message. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and jump right in. So excited. Okay, I wore my best t-shirt tonight. I was putting on my stories before this. I was like, I thought about putting on something that made me look a little professional, but I was like, I didn't get this job to look professional. I wore a uniform for 10 years. I'm wearing my best Billabong t-shirt tonight for you guys. Okay, so let's jump right in. How to attract your dream business partner. I'm going to open the chat because I love to see your reactions. And so if you guys like have reactions, definitely post them to the chat because it's fun and exciting to me to serve you tonight and to hear from you and to spend this time with you. My love language is quality time. So love to spend this time with you. Okay, so you may not know who I am, so I just want to do a really brief overview of who I am. My name is Amy Mashburn. I'm a superstar, 11-time elite coach. I have been in the top 10. Mute yourself. I have been in the top, because when I'm presenting, I can't go to the present. I can't mute people. 8-time top 10. Our team top 10 last year. And founder of Team Set Your Soul on Fire. I'm a mom of 2 under 4. I've been sober for 15 years in April. And I was in the Legacy Club by the time I was 30. And I have served on the Coach Advisory Board. So for me, like the Coach Advisory Board is one of those things that I actually feel incredibly proud about because it's one of those things that you're handpicked for. And as somebody who has been in the closet achiever most of my life to like I was a underachiever for most of my life, but because I didn't realize that I was actually an achiever. I don't know, for those of you who get that, you'll get that. But it was a really surreal experience. Hold on, I need to stop the share so I can mute this person because it just drives me crazy. You guys, you've got to mute yourself when you jump on. This 2023. You've got this. I believe in you. You can figure it out. Just hands quick to the mute button. Sign on. Where's the mute? Like first thing. Okay. Gotcha. All right. So, and a little bit about me as a person. I have been with my husband since I was 23. I'll be 38 next month, actually. So I signed up to do this when I was 25. So I've been doing this for a very long time, 12 years in January. I love gardening. I have a massive garden. I live on 10 acres in Western Washington, But I'm born and raised in Miami, Florida, 21 years, and I lived nomadically building this business with my husband for 8 years before deciding to start a family. And we had 2 under 2, and we live a very outdoorsy, active lifestyle with them. And we are unschoolers and pretty much just do whatever the hell we want because of this opportunity. So I'm very passionate about this opportunity because I would not be a mom if it wasn't for this opportunity. I would not have the relationship with my body and my husband and human beings if it wasn't for this opportunity. And I wouldn't have the platform that I have with this opportunity to be able to help the people that I can help. And so I'm really excited to dive in with you today and just share a little bit about me. So first, let's talk about facts, because for me, I'm the kind of person that I need to look to people and look to, you know, things that are showing me that it's true and that it's possible. So, for example, when I became a mom and I was kind of like in this season of like not really building my business, like the 2 years that I wasn't in the top 10, I wasn't building, I was just kind of coasting and surviving. As you know, 2 under 2, or maybe you don't know, it's very huge transition for somebody, especially in their late 30s, who has never had kids and has never built a business with kids and trying to figure it out. So what I did to pull myself out of that self-limiting belief that like I can't build this the way I used to build this as a mom who is all in with her children, homeschooling, unschooling, you know, does not want to sacrifice time with my family to build the business that I've already put time in building. I had a lot of stories and a lot of beliefs, but there's a lot of women, not only just in my organization, but in the network as a whole, who have built this business with babies and are still building this business with babies. And so whatever your limiting belief is currently as to why you haven't already gone out there and grab like hold of the success that you want with this business, I want you to find somebody who has already done what you want to do and use them as your proof, right? So you know, luckily I have like a really powerhouse downline. And so, and they are, you know, like we have 3 of us in the top 10 and like 20% of us in the top 50, and they're all moms except for one. And so I have proof in front of me, like right there. And I'm sure all of you are on teams too, where there's people around you who are doing things that are really freaking hard. And I want you to look to them for success and tell yourself, they're doing it, I can do it too. The only thing that's separating us is their mindset. The only thing that's separating you from where you want to be, from where you are, is what you're thinking and your thoughts about it. Okay. Meg talked about the trust trio. The trust trio is the precursor to this training. Okay. So if you want to go back and watch the trust trio again, I highly recommend it because it has a lot to do with your mindset, and your mindset is a big key part of how you speak on social media and what you believe and what you put out there. So facts, 65% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and half of them are 6-figure earners. Okay. It's tough times out there, and people need this opportunity. Okay. And there's a lot of people who aren't living paycheck to paycheck who still hate their jobs too. So, I mean, there's an opportunity. This is an opportunity for so many people. Okay. Social selling. Oh, and Lynn asked, anyone currently high earning coach that is not a mom? I was for 8 years. Okay, so this is I've only been a mom for 4 years, so I could still be that person for you. Okay, social selling market share was $185 billion last year. Okay, the industry we're in is alive and well, alive and well. The Direct Sales Association was up 15% at the end of 2022 and going into a recession. Okay. 77% of the population is interested in a flexible entrepreneurial income earning opportunity. That's 250 million people. Okay. So the facts are that yes, there's people out there who want to do this. The fact is you're either bringing them in or you're not. Okay. So let's start helping the people and bring them in. Okay. So this is like a workshop, you guys. So make sure that like you can screenshot these questions, you can journal on them later, or you can do it right now with me live. You can do it in the chat, however works for you, both, whatever. But it's really important for me to help you to figure out who you want to help in 3 words or less. Okay. So maybe it's a single dude who hates his job and wants to, I don't know, like travel the world. Or maybe it's you want to help working moms come home to their kids. Or like before I was a mom, I wanted to help service industry workers get out of the business. I was a waitress for 10 years. Forgot to mention that. I was a waitress for 10 years and I'm a art school dropout. That's my resume. Very proud. So that was my focus before. Somebody who wants to travel the world, because I traveled the world and built this business for 8 years and lived all over the place in the Caribbean and just like marketed the lifestyle. Okay. So I was very clear with who I was marketing to and sharing with somebody who wanted, the lifestyle of time flexibility. Okay. So this is one of those things where it's like you have to be so clear about who you're talking to, because if you're trying to speak to everybody, you're going to speak to nobody. And you need to get out of the thought of, I don't want to leave anybody out. Because that was my problem, especially when I became a mom, because I built my following for 8 years of people who weren't moms. And then all of a sudden it took me literally 3 years to embrace the fact that I have to talk to moms now. Like I am a mom. Like it was a very hard mental transition for me because I'm still very much have my identity. But then I realized that was a big problem because I was missing out on speaking to my person of who I am today and who I was 2 years ago, you know? So you just got to take the leap. Okay. If you've gone through a big life transition, maybe you're married and now you're divorced or whatever, you were in a relationship, now you're single, or maybe you were single, now you're in a relationship. Either way, when you go through a change, you just got to embrace who you are today and think about who you were 2 years ago and what got you to where you are today. And that's a lot of the stuff that you can talk about. What are the 5 traits of your best people that are easy to work with? Okay. So what is the 5 traits? You can write them down. The person that is easy to work with. Okay. So what I like to imagine is that I show up to a Zoom call with somebody that is new, and the energy that they're bringing from across the screen and the type of questions that they're asking me and how they're showing up for their business. Because the way that I look at this is that we're business partners and it's a 50-50 relationship. If you're not showing up and building your business, I can't help you because I'm here to mentor and guide you. I'm not here to build it for you. But if you're just like, oh, I'll take anybody, I'm so desperate, you're not going to have those boundaries, and you're also going to be recruiting your not so ideal person. So that's why it's really important that you know the 5 traits of your best person and you're only talking to them. Okay. So I'll share some of mine. Self-motivated, hardworking, loved life and wants to live it to the fullest, sees a vision for her future. Positive, has great work ethic. So I'll give you a moment to do that. Okay, so real quick, Julia said, moms who used to go to the gym but can't get there now because of kids. That's speaking to your customer. You need to get out of the thought of your customer. We're talking about your business partner. Many of you have goals to build this to the 6-figure mark, or to build this thing past an affiliate, right? Past commissions. If you ever want to build this past commissions, you have to start focusing on team building. And the only way that you're going to focus on team building is that you have to speak to somebody who wants to build this business. And you need to start leading with that on your social media. Okay. All right. What is your best business partner's problem? Okay. So what is the problem that she has right now that you want to help her solve? Mine is she wants her husband to be home with her and her kids, living their dream life so she can explore so he can explore his interests and she can explore hers. She wants to feel her best, create her life around wellness and grow her own food and be home with her kids and travel and do whatever they want whenever they want. It's very niche down. You know how like they say like you need to niche down? You need to niche down who you're talking to. Light bulb moment, right? I am so specific with who I want to talk to that their goals are similar to my life now. I'm going to help them achieve what I have now. That's why you can't be scared or ashamed to share your vision, or as you get steps closer to your vision, because the more you share your vision, the more you're going to help other people see your vision. And if you help other people see your vision and they want the same thing, then you guys are all going to the same place together. You know, I even worried about talking too much about my husband and us, you know, quality family time all the time and being together 24/7 and being besties. Because I'm like, oh, I don't want to alienate people. But no, people with supportive spouses that are like a team, they're my best business partners because I don't have to deal with the whole husband objection thing. I don't have to deal with that because their husbands support them, their spouses support them, their girlfriends and wives support them, right? So that's not even something I deal with. If you're tired of dealing with objections, speak to somebody who won't have those objections, you know? What is the solution that gives them exactly what they want? For me, is that she needs to start building her mindset and habits into the person who can achieve these things. She needs to stop thinking about what others think about her and start living for herself. She needs to feel okay being uncomfortable. So what's your dream business partner's solution? What if they overcame could change their whole life? I always think it's their mindset. That's why I always talk about mindset. Talk about mindset every single fucking day. Because as somebody who's done this for 12 years and seen who becomes successful, who joins my organization and who doesn't, it's always the way that they think. Always. It's their trust trio. How much they believe in themselves, how much they believe in others, and how much they believe in the product. 100%. I'm a perfect example. I always believed in myself. I always believed in the company, and I always believed in the potential of other people. I've always seen the potential in other people. I've always known they can do it. Never doubted people for 1 minute. And I don't give up on people. What is a simple process? Oh my God, my pre's kicking in. What is a simple process that guarantees they make their first paycheck in their first 30 days? And I'm asking you this because it is so simple and you know it's simple and everybody here knows how to help somebody make their first paycheck in their first 30 days, but you make it seem like it's this big scary complicated thing that you need a big coach training group and your upline has to do something and wave a magic wand or something. You literally know how to help them to do that. What's a simple process? Somebody signed up tonight and they said, I need to make $200 in the next 2 weeks. How do you help them do that? It's so easy. So everybody's process is going to be different and you need to trust your own genius and your own process. That's the thing too, that you guys like some tough love real quick. One of the things that's holding you back is that you think everybody else has got the special sauce, myself included. I'm very much like, oh, this is working for her, I'm going to do it too. But one of the things I'm really working on this year is really trusting my own genius and really, really, really honing in on picking one thing that I know is going to work and sticking to it and not flip flopping, right? And not like changing it every time I see something else working for somebody, right? Getting a plan in action and just bringing the people in and testing it and testing it and testing it and testing it. I want you to start to look at your social media and bringing people in as that you're just testing a process. let's test this and see if this works. Let's experiment with this and see if it works. If you're so focused on the results, you're going to miss out on the opportunity to fine tune your process. Okay. So pick something. For me, I give it like 6 months. So like I'm experimenting with something right now with the team, and to help them with duplication in the organization. And I had a call on Monday with my leaders, and one of my leaders had a really great idea, and like everybody was getting fired up, and I got really fired up too. And I was like, maybe I should do that. And I was like, no, I'm going to stick to what I'm doing for 6 months, and then let her do what she's doing for 6 months. And then we'll come back and brainstorm after 6 months and see whose process worked, right? Who's worked the best. And then we'll switch gears, for the last half of the year or something, right? But I guarantee that if you took the time to make your own process and talk to enough people to bring them in that you could test it with them, that you would have a lot more fun with your business and you'd be so much more invested in it. What measurable results will prove to your new recruits that it's working? So you sign up 2 people. They both say they want to work the business. What results do they need to have to prove that it's working for them? So your dream person needs to make money, Mike. They want money. What kind of results? Income? What results? Do they, I don't know. Everybody says money. Time flexibility. So they're able to like what? Quit their job? That's a measurable result. Get their first startup kit commission covered. Yep, that's one of my first goal in my first 30 days for people who join me is to get their first paycheck. And I don't tell them to set up their EFT. I say, get that paycheck in your hand. Because my first paycheck was $35, and I equated that to half a lunch shift, and it like clicked for me. I was like, oh my God, if I just make 2 more of these, I can like cut out a lunch shift, and I can just like cut out that shift. And it started to make sense in my head. So that's what I think. And then the next 60 days is to make a profit. So the first full 60 days is to make a profit. So get their initial investment covered and make even $1 over is a profit, right? It's just a profit. So that, and then so for that, it's like success starters, like success starters for me. Getting one step closer to success starters, hitting emerald. That's it for me. But you figure out what feels good to you. And remember, there's no right or wrong answer. It's what feels good to you. If you bring somebody on and like they tell you their goals, and you're like, this is how I mentor, and this is what's important to me, and this is what I think is important for you to get started, like then stick to that. Okay. Something to also remember is that we're marketing a solution and not a product. And we're also not talking about people's problems, like throwing their problems in their face on social media. You want to live in the solution. Okay. So here's some questions that you can ask yourself. You can screenshot this if you want. And I recommend taking the time. Listen, you guys, you should be spending a lot of time on this. Who you're marketing to, how often are you thinking about that person? How often do you think about her? I literally think about my dream partner all day, every day. Like, what can I say today to help her to like do it, right? I'm obsessed with helping her. It's my like life's mission. It's why I still show up.
Can you blow up that screen? I'm sorry, I asked earlier, but I was just wondering if you could blow up that screen.
How's that?
I can take the screenshot.
How's that? You're really loud.
Hello. Side.
That's as big as I can get it. So I'll post the slides after. It's gonna be okay. I will post the slides after. If you're on your phone, get on your computer and it'll be bigger. Okay, so what struggle is she currently facing? So yeah, you want to be making sure that you're staying in the solution and not the problem. I mean, it's okay to talk about the problem, but I always talk about like where I was, what happened, to where I am now. Okay, so what struggle is she currently facing right now that you could help her solve? Okay, so for me, it's like extra money, right? I always talk about extra money to be able to buy like organic groceries or to be able to go do something, a date night with your spouse or whatever, or to be able to be home with your kids. What keeps her up at night? So what is she stressed out about that you have a solution for, right? What does she want most for her life? Trying to keep track of the time. Oh my God, it's already been 30 minutes. All right. What patterns are keeping her stuck? How can she break the cycle? This also goes back to like the first questions, right? Like what patterns are keeping her stuck? For me, it's like her mindset. What does she need to believe about herself in order to take, or he, sorry guys, I should be more inclusive, to take the step to work with you? How can you shift her perspective about investing in herself? What does she need to believe to create the life she wants? He wants? They want? How would their life change after experiencing our business opportunity over the course of the next 30 days, 6 months, and 1 year? So I want to talk about the how would her life or their life change after experiencing our business opportunity over the course of the next 30 days, 6 months, and 1 year. When you have such a clear vision of what you can offer somebody and how much they can take this and change their life, you show up on your social media every day just like on fire to share the opportunity and to share not only your vision but your vision for other people and how you can help them see that they can do this too. Okay, so this is called a PSTLV grid. So basically what their problem is, the tools and how you're going to help them to solve their problem, and the results and the solution, right? So curious to hear in the chat, what's the problem? What's the problem that you're going to solve for them? What's the solution that you have for their problem? We got to move fast, guys. Time's a ticking. Remember, we're sticking to the business opportunity. I just saw weight loss. I'm like, yes, you will lose weight, but how can you transform their life beyond their bodies, right? There's like, some of you guys are really struggling with like this big vision for people and really believing in this big vision, you know? But I really want you to focus on the business opportunity because it's just like, it's the easy thing to do to just like fall back on the products. So really important that you guys start to lead with this. Like literally you should be talking about the business opportunity. I'm going to challenge you guys. Remember Holly said that she talks about it 5 days a week. How many of you guys heard that and started doing that too? I did. I was like, damn, I'm slacking. I'm going to start doing it too and challenge myself to start doing it too. It's not that it's easy to think of things to say every single day, but if you have all this written down and it's right in front of you, it becomes way easier to really narrow in and pinpoint what the problem is and how you can help them solve it on a daily basis. And then the tools that you have to offer them. I'm just curious to know if you know the tools. I want to see in the chat, what are the tools? Somebody signs up with you. What tools do you have to offer them to build this business? The freaking back office training, tracker, PD, share cart, these calls, Facebook groups, the team, each other, power hours, upline, body coach video, bod groups, Slay Squad. Okay, good. You have some ideas. Your solution. What results are they going to get? What results can they get from being part of this opportunity, from joining with you. We can't say the word freedom, Rose, unfortunately, but you can say time flexibility. You can say financial flexibility. Time with their kids, confidence. Can't say fire their boss, but you can say become full-time with a lot of hard work, atypical results. A substantial income. Yes. No glass ceilings. All right. I'm going to share with you what I have for mine. Not making enough. The problem is not making enough money. Wants to be able to be home with her pets or children, because originally my goal was to be home with my dog, my boxer, who's now tattooed on my thigh because he passed away. But he was my miracle dog. Has anybody ever seen the movie Apricot Farms, the documentary on Netflix? So I'm going to cry. It's so crazy because the whole story, it's like it all started with like a promise to a dog. Get so emotional over Murphy. He's like passed away like 3 years ago, and I still can't. If you have a boxer or any kind of dog, obviously, but biased with the boxer, but I saw that movie and I was like, oh my God, that's exactly like our story. It all started with a promise to my dog. That's why I like don't understand. I'm like, you guys got kids? And you can't keep a promise to your kids? Like, I kept a promise to my fucking dog. Come on now. Get in your heart and out of your head. Okay. So wants to travel, wants land, farm, slow life, wants to bring her husband home from his toxic job, unfulfilled to her day job. What is the tools? Plug and play system, monthly mentorship group, team training, Slay Squad, team call, back office training, national wake up call, BAT, groups for customers, mindset mastery group. Those are some things that I have to offer. Just a few things. The solution, be able to put her baby down for a nap every day. So here's for those of you who have kids. What is something that you do every day what's something that you wish you could do every day that you can't because you're not currently home with your family, but you want to? That's something you can literally talk about every day. So like I literally talk about being able to put my baby down for a nap all the time. Very repetitive. Talk about the time I'm able to spend with my family all the time. It's very repetitive, but that's very, very important to me. And I'm speaking directly to her, and she doesn't watch my stories every freaking day. So I have to be very repetitive. And it's not that like the solution for her changes, it stays the same. I've just come up with different ways in which to present it on my feed and in my stories. So like in my stories right now, I'm talking all about my son has his molars coming in, and he's just all over my stories because it's like, you know, he's taking over my life right now, right? But it's like I get to be home with him, and I get to work with him laying on me all day for the last like 2 weeks, and that, you know, that's some people's dream. So I want to remind them that like they can do this. She wants to pursue her own interests and hobbies daily instead of maybe on the weekend. So I have a lot of hobbies, a lot of interests, and so I share them on my social media and my stories because I want to inspire people to get out there and live their dreams, right? So I share with them how my dreams came into like, and just so you know, I had a garden in 2013 too, and I used it as part of my social media to share with people, you know, how important hobbies were, and remind people that like there's life beyond work and partying and Netflix. There's so many things that they're like not doing, and I like to inspire people to have a better quality of life. So weekly date nights with her spouse, babysitter, nanny, house cleaner. Takes time throughout the day for self-care. Takes a nap. I started taking naps. It's wild. You know, massages, getting her nails done, getting her hair done, getting Botox, whatever. I share it all. You know, I share all the things that I like to do. Tattoos, they're expensive, and I have a lot of them, and I have a lot of work to do as well. And they're thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Not cheap to have good work. Gets to create a lifestyle with time flexibility in her own life. Never has to call in sick. So before kids, it was travel, 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 travel. I literally traveled every single month for 4 years building this business. My husband and I just flew all over the country, all over the world, and just marketed a traveling lifestyle. and built my business off of living my dream. And now I'm marketing a completely different kind of lifestyle, and that is slow living at home with your kids and just, you know, enjoying the little beautiful things about life. It's all about quality of life for me. It always has been experiences, and that has never changed because it's part of my values as a person. So hopefully that helps you to see some things that you can be talking about. Are you guys getting any clarity with this? Am I tracking? Oh, thank you. Don't tell me that. I'll keep talking all night. I was on my team call last night and we were like 20 minutes over. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I just got so excited. I would not stop talking and just kept training and training and training. That's what naps do. Okay. Creating compelling content. There are 3 beliefs you are always cultivating for the people in your copy. Okay. I want you to start to think of yourself as like copywriters, and that you're writing content for like a magazine or like a website or like something that people are reading and they are looking for information, and you are providing the information. Okay. So there's 3 beliefs that you want people who follow you to have. I mean, usually people who sign up with me, they've been following me for a while, and I've been building that belief in them for years. So when they sign up, there's no convincing, they've already built the belief because of my content. I have like I breathe belief into them until they're ready to do it. And so one of the things is that you can do this. Okay. This is the trust trio. When you create content that inspires belief in the reader in these 3 areas, they say yes. They must believe it's possible for them. And this is why vulnerability is so important, and why I always talk about how I'm a sober alcoholic, how I was a waitress, why it says my profile very on my Instagram very proudly says, what's it say? It says college dropout to CEO. I'm very proud of that. Most people are proud of their degrees. I'm really proud of the decision to drop out of college and to go after entrepreneurship. I gave it a good go. It's not for me. The school system has never been for me. And, you know, I used to be really scared to talk about that because I didn't want to alienate people who really value like formal education. But there's that thing again. That thing again with like, hey, I'm not going to offend my person. I'm not going to offend my person that resonates with my message and resonates with who I am. If somebody is offended because I prefer informal education over formal education because the school system is not set up for somebody like me, and the college system is not set up for me, and society was never set up for somebody like me, and so I had to go and think outside the box, then they're not my person. And they probably want a regular job, and they probably want a regular life, and they probably want to live like 90% of the world. I'm looking for that top 2% who want to take this and they got something to prove, and they know, yeah, I'm unschooling my kids for this reason, simply because I felt like school was a whole a lot of wasted time for me. But if my kid decides that they want to go to school, I'm not going to tell them no either, because that's unschooling. They get to explore their interests and they get to try and test it out. But that's not how I was, you know, brought up and raised. And so, you know, that's one of those things that like I had to really grow, you know, a pair of balls and just like do it, right? And do the damn thing and stop being such a baby and stop pussyfooting around the things that I want to talk about because I was afraid. I said a lot of like genitalia there, right? I'm so sorry. I did not mean for that. We're all adults here, right? That's another thing. Like, did you see my kids' faces are blacked out and they're like not showing? My page is adult content only. My kids are part of my page, but I want to tell you guys this story really quick. When I first had my kids, I shared my daughter a little bit when she was like 2 weeks old. And then after she was like 2 weeks old, I decided to take her off social, and I've never shared my son's name, and I've never shared their identities. And I got so much hate. This was 4 years ago. I got so much hate for not sharing my kids' faces because so many people, I got people telling me like, who do you think you are? People who were like really emotionally invested in my pregnancy and in my kids' lives. They wanted to see my kids. They want to know about my kids. It just became so creepy for me. And there was nobody in our company and nobody even on social media that I saw who was protecting their kids' identities when I started doing it. Now a lot of people do it. Now it's like totally normal and people, talk about it all the time. But when I started doing it, people weren't doing it. And so it's one of those things too, where it's like, I've never sacrificed my values. I even had a woman DM me and say, how dare you think that you can not show your kids on social media? My upline told me that I have to share my family if I want to be successful, and against what I wanted to do, I did it. So she basically like felt like she basically chose to like pimp out her kids, even though she didn't want to. Not saying if you share your kids, you're pimping them out, but obviously that's how she felt. And she went against her own values to be successful. And she got mad at me because I refused to go against my own values to be successful. And that is a perfect example of the right kind of hate that you're going to get for sticking to your guns and owning who you are and knowing that, like, this is who you are, this is what you stand for. That is leadership. People follow people and they join people who take a stand for what they believe in, and they see that they can do it too. There's so many women who probably felt like they couldn't do this business because they thought they would have to share their families, who see me doing it in a very creative, fun way where I still share my family, but I do it in a respectful way, I think, in a way that makes me feel comfortable. And so I open the door to all those people. Now, isn't that cool, right? So if you try to please everybody, you're going to please nobody, right? So I am the best person to help you. Okay. So the transformation happens with your content when you present the problem. Where they are now, specifically and simply, they feel like you understand them because you do. Okay. So you need to help them feel the transformation and see the transformation with your content, and show them what happens when they join you. What happens? What do they get? I really feel like that's what we're kind of lacking as a company, is like, we don't really show people what they get. We don't talk too much about in our stories, what do you get when you sign up with me, right? Maybe with the products, maybe you're kind of good at that, but again, like, I don't know that we're really even that good about the products either. So I feel like when you show them the transformation, right? And yeah, a lot of people lead with the community. And you guys, I'm just going to be real with you for a second, okay? The community is the easy thing to lead with. I fell into that too when I was trying to find my voice, and it's totally normal to lean into the community because it's important, right? But somebody who wants to come in this and wants to build this as a business, they don't necessarily aren't going to do this for the community. They're going to do this for their own dreams and goals and how it affects their family and themselves. Yes, the community is amazing. And I love the community, and I love my friends, and I have made so many amazing friends and memories and lifelong like business partners with this. But I didn't come into this for community. I came into this to get out of waitressing and to be home with my dog. Okay. So the community is like the cherry on top. But the transformation is not going to come necessarily from the community. A lot of us are alone in our houses most of the time. So the community part probably doesn't even come to play until you're at an event or a retreat or a Success Club trip or summit. So what are they going to get in the interim, right? What are they getting for themselves? All right. So thank you for saying that. All right. So I want you to consider that. Okay. Just noodle on that a little bit. What I'm offering is the perfect solution. So they must believe what you're offering will create their desired results. Every time you create, every time you create a piece of content, you provide a mini transformation for them. You give them results ahead of time. So I want you to start to think of your like the value and the stuff that you're writing on your social media is offering them kind of like light bulb moments or opening up their minds to transformation, right? So what is something that you share on your social media that adds value to somebody's life that can help them the second they read it? And I feel like this is the easiest thing to do, and we don't do it nearly enough, because I think a lot of you don't spend nearly enough time on your mindset. I think you like check off the box of PD and you like move on. But if you are like immersed in mindset and immersed in self-work and self-coaching, there is an endless amount of content that you can share in your social media that gives people many transformations. If you even just like take a glance at my social media, you'll see that I focus a lot on different ways to frame things and think about things. And I share my personal philosophy. And my personal philosophy is mine. And I can talk about whatever I want my personal philosophy, and the way that I perceive things, the way that I see things helps people have their own little mini transformations every day. So what are your personal philosophies? What are some things that you believe in, that are important to you, that you share, that you feel that can help people and change people's life? And are you being consistent with that? I'm going to get to these little objections in the chat later, like Cheryl's. I'm going to copy and paste that one so I don't. Whoops. I lost the thing. Okay, I'll come back to that. Oh my God. Panicking. Where is it? Can't find. Hold on. I gotta find the freaking thing. I'm having an elder millennial moment. Give me a second. Where did my freaking screen go? Hold on. Bear with me. It was going so well. That is so weird. Okay. I got to bring it up all over again because I have no idea where it went. The screen just disappeared. I swear. It's the iMac. It just like swipes off and then it's like gone. Like I can never find it again. All right. It's okay. We're almost done here. Okay. All right. So this is like one of my favorite questions that I have been asking myself like all year. And it's all of like been it's been like a month, but January was like 5 years. So this is something that I really want you to ask yourself this year as you step outside your comfort zone and you really start to put yourself out there and say what you really mean and say what you really feel and share what you really want to share, not what you've just been sharing to stay on the surface level to please other people and not get hate or not get rejection or whatever you're avoiding. Are you willing to feel any feeling to reach your full potential and dreams in life? Any feeling. What is the worst thing that can happen by you putting yourself out there? It's a feeling. Somebody make you feel some sort of way. You make yourself feel some sort of way. That is it. It's just a feeling. Your feeling turns into a thought. And that's why you have to be very, very mindful of your thoughts, because at the end of the day, it's just a feeling. So when you have a certain feeling, like imposter syndrome or fear, mute yourself.
Why are you doing this? Huh?
Oh my God. Hold on.
You really don't want to watch?
Okay. I'm just gonna keep it off share. So You got the quote, right? You got the question. So when you have a certain feeling, I want you to pay attention to the thought that's generating that feeling. So, like you're feeling scared to like say what you want to say because what? Because of what kind of thought are you having around it? Like so for example, as Cheryl had said something, I don't have here's the thought that Cheryl has. I'm not a big income earner. It's been more about my transformation. I don't feel I can share about the income. So that thought is generating a lack of action around sharing out the income opportunity because that story is basically saying, if I can't share about the income, then I like literally did not hear that entire training. Literally just went through that entire training, and your thought is still, I'm not making enough money, so I can't talk about the income opportunity. Literally missed all of that. Not once did I talk about making a shit ton of money.